just hit over 100.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to start the recording now. You're good to go whenever you're ready.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us at today's press conference. I'm Attorney Gloria Allred, and with me is Sherry Vill. I'm going to be reading a statement, and then Ms. Vill will be reading her statement. I will also be taking questions. Sherry will not be taking any questions. I will also be showing you some photographs. I will be holding them up to the screen. In addition, after the question and answer period, we will also screen share the photographs which I am showing you. This will all, of course, be available to you, including the recording, after the press conference, most likely within an hour after the press conference. So thank you very much for coming. And today I am here with a woman who, according to reports, may be the 10th woman to accuse New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of inappropriate sexual conduct. Sherry Vill is 55 years old, and she's a resident of New York State. She is a businesswoman, a wife, a mother, and a grandmother. She has been married for more than 30 years, and she has 3 children. She also has 1 grandchild. What Sherry will describe has been disturbing to her ever since she became the victim of the governor's unwelcome and unconsented to physical contact with her, which included, but was not limited to, grabbing her face and kissing her in 2017. For years, she wanted to report what Governor Cuomo did to her, but some members of her family discouraged her from filing a complaint because they wanted to protect her, and they feared that if she made what happened to her public, that the governor might use his power to retaliate against her and her family. For that reason, Sherry made the difficult decision to remain silent. Recently, however, Sherry decided that the people of New York deserve to know the truth, and that Governor Cuomo should be held accountable for what he has done. For that reason, she has decided to break her silence and overcome her fear by speaking truth to power. She feels that it's never too late to do the right thing, and that is why she's speaking out today. After our press conference today, we plan to contact the New York Attorney General's office in order to inform them that Sherry is willing to cooperate in the investigation that is currently being conducted into numerous allegations of sexual harassment by the governor. Sherry is very brave to have made the decision to break her silence. She is supported in her decision by many members of her family, some of whom were witnesses to what the governor did to Sherry, and who also felt that what the governor did was very surprising and not appropriate. Given what Sherry alleges and what other accusers have alleged, many people are wondering if Sherry thinks that Governor Cuomo should resign. Her answer is very simple. Sherry feels that there should be a full and fair investigation of all of the allegations against the governor, and then the report should be made public. After the governor is afforded due process and the report is published, then Sherry will make the decision as to what action she thinks should be taken against the governor. Women like Sherry will no longer be silent. They will refuse to be intimidated by powerful men. We are very proud of Sherry, and we look forward to due process, not only for the governor, but also for those who allege that they have been victimized by him. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Sherry Vill. Sherry?
Good afternoon. It was spring of 2017. I lived in Greece, New York, a suburb of Rochester. Lake Ontario had flooded our homes on the lakeshore. On Monday, May 28, 2017, Governor Cuomo planned a visit to our neighborhood to survey damages and have a press conference. I came home from work to see all the commotion going on. I was asked by a staffer if I would allow Governor to come into my home, view our damages, and I agreed. Governor Cuomo went into my house with my husband's son, along with his staff and some town officials. I came in shortly afterward, and when I walked in, I said to the governor, "Do you think that we have to live like this?" That's when the governor looked at me, approached me, took my hand, and pulled me to him. He leaned down over me and kissed my cheek. I was holding my small dog in my arms, and I thought he was going to pet my dog, but instead he wedged his face between the dog and mine and kissed me on the other cheek, in what I felt was highly sexual manner. I wasn't expecting that at all. He said, "That's what Italians do, kiss both cheeks." I felt shocked and didn't understand what had just happened, but I knew I felt embarrassed and weird about his kissing me. I am Italian, and in my family, family members kiss. Strangers do not kiss, especially upon meeting someone for the first time. The governor's staff started to walk out of the house. Governor Cuomo lagged behind them. He stopped, he turned to me and said, "You are beautiful." That made me feel even more uncomfortable. I felt as though he was coming on to me in my own home. The governor and his staff proceeded to view the damages outside of the house. I purposely did not follow because I felt uncomfortable given what had just happened in my living room. I walked out the front door and stayed in the front of the house away from them. After seeing the damages, the governor then circled to the front of the house where I was standing. He then approached me. He took my hand and said, "Is there anything else you want?" I didn't know how to respond. He then leaned down on top of me, and while still holding one of my hands, he forcibly grabbed my face with his other big hand and kissed my cheek. Again, in a very aggressive manner. I felt like I was being manhandled, especially because he was holding my face and he was kissing my cheek again. I could not use my other hand to stop him because he did it so quickly. And I also was holding my dog with my other hand. The way he looked at me and his body language made me very uncomfortable. I felt he was acting in a highly flirtatious and inappropriate manner, especially in front of my family and neighbors. He is almost 6 feet tall. I'm approximately 5 feet tall. He towered over me. There was nothing I could do. When the governor left, I thought the craziness was over. However, to my surprise, within days, I received a call on my voicemail from the governor's staff. The woman on the other end said Governor Cuomo was having an event in town, naming the place and the time, and asked if I'd like to attend. Notably, she did not say my husband and I or my family and I, only specifically me. I purposely did not respond to the invitation. I felt very uneasy about the call. I was the only one that received the call and the personal invite from the governor. Then, to top it off, the governor sent me a letter and pictures. The pictures were featured the governor and me. And the letter was addressed only to me. More alarms going off. The whole thing was so strange and inappropriate and still makes me nervous and afraid because of his power and position. This has had a long-term effect on me. My neighbors and customers kept saying I was the governor's new girlfriend and other similar comments, which I did not like at all. I have been in business for many years and routinely interact with male customers and vendors. I know the difference between an innocent gesture and a sexual one. I never felt as uncomfortable as I did the day that Governor Cuomo came to my home. His actions were very overly sexual. highly inappropriate and disrespectful to me and my family. The governor's actions have continued to bother me, and I have expressed that to my family many times in intervening years. However, I was always afraid to report it. I am still afraid of him, but I am no longer willing to remain silent, and that is why I am coming forward today.
Thank you very much, Sherry. And now I'd like to display some photographs that were taken that day. This is a photograph of Governor Cuomo inside of Sherry's home, holding her hand. The person that you see with a hat on is her son, Al Jr., Vill, and he is recording. So that's Sherry and the governor. The next photo is also taken inside of her home. It's a better photograph of the governor's face. Again, he is holding her hand, and I'm showing you that. And now I will also show you the next photo, which is the letter that the governor signed and sent to Sherry, and that's the letter to which she just referred. And the letter says, Sherry Vill, we have deleted her address, but it does say Rochester, New York, and with the zip code. Dear Ms. Vill, it was a pleasure to meet you recently. Thank you very much again for your hospitality. We will continue to do all we can to provide relief and support to you and your fellow homeowners while strengthening the local infrastructure against future flooding. Thank you for your partnership. Without question, cooperation is more important than ever in times like these. I look forward to continuing our work to ensure a stronger, safer future for the local community. With warmest regards and best wishes, sincerely, Andrew M. Cuomo. And it's dated July 19th, 2017. It's on the stationery of State of New York Executive Chamber, Albany. Andrew M. Cuomo, Governor. And now I will show you the photo of the governor kissing Sherry. The photo of the kiss is a little bit blurred, and we apologize for that. And the reason that it's blurred is on the day of the governor's visit to Sherry's home, her son was taking the video as I just described to you and as is seen in the photograph. And essentially, as the governor was going inside and outside, her son was taking video. And then when he came outside and he actually saw the governor kissing his mother, his video was still going. After he posted that video for a very brief time, his sister, Sherry's daughter, took a still photo of the video of the kiss. And that is why it's a little blurred, because it's a still photo taken from a video. So this is the photo of the governor kissing Sherry outside of her house. And on the bottom of the photo, you will see that it says, "The governor kissing my mom at Rochester, New York." And you'll see that when we display that on the screen as well. All right, thank you. reviewing that, and now we will be happy to take some questions. Just hit the Q&A and type in your question, and then I will read the question, and I'll be happy to see if we can answer them. I don't see the questions yet, but I do see that 2 participants raised their hand. So if you'll give me a moment, please, I'll look at the chat and we will find the questions. All right. First question is, do I consider this sexual harassment or even a potential criminal offense? Technically, if a person touches another person with the intent to touch that person, it's a battery, civil, potentially criminal. We're not focused on the criminal aspect at all today. We are focused on the investigation by the New York Attorney General's office. So in no way are we suggesting that the governor should be prosecuted for what he did to Sherry. And that answers the next question, which is, was this an assault? Technically, yes. Next question is, have I been in contact with the New York Attorney General's office and its investigation? Not yet, is the answer to that question. But we plan to contact them this afternoon. Next question is that Sherry indicated that she was afraid to come forward earlier. Why? What was she afraid of? And I do believe that I answered that in my statement, that the governor is a very powerful person in New York, and her family was concerned about what might happen if she reported, whether or not it would be something that would cause retaliation towards her or members of her family. So Sherry received the advice that it would be best not to report it at that time. Next question is that the Governor Cuomo kissed her on her cheeks. Did Governor Cuomo kiss you on your lips? And the answer is no. Next question is that the reporter is asking about the governor's staff calling Sherry after visiting her home. Does this demonstrate a pattern with Governor Cuomo sending staffers to call women he's interested in? The answer is, at this time, I only represent Sherry, so I don't want to speculate about a pattern in reference to Governor Cuomo's staff and any contacts they may have made with other women. The reporter also inquires, based on your allegation, Sherry, should Governor Cuomo resign? And I believe we also addressed that in my statement, that we think there should be an investigation and Sherry will decide what she thinks may be the appropriate course of action, what she thinks it should be, after the current investigation by the New York Attorney General's office has concluded and has been made public. Next question, is Sherry pressing charges or only letting the Attorney General know that she is willing to cooperate in her investigation? She is only letting the Attorney General know that she is willing to cooperate in her investigation. The next question is, has Sherry alerted the governor's office of this incident? No. This is the first notice of this incident. This is the first time that Sherry is speaking out about it. Next question. Based on my experience, does Governor Cuomo need a psychological evaluation? I think that he should be I think that Governor Cuomo should be judged based on evidence of his conduct. Conduct would include words and deeds, and it will be up to him if he feels that he needs any psychological evaluation. That's not something that I would be in a position to opine about at this time. Next question. Am I planning to, or have we filed any lawsuit or notice of claim against the governor of New York State? Why or why not? The answer is no. We have not filed a lawsuit. No, we have not filed a claim. At this point, we have no plan to do that. Next question is, will we contact Assembly investigators as well? At this point, our plan is only to contact the Attorney General's office and then be referred to their investigators. Next question is, what does Sherry think about people joking about her being the governor's new girlfriend in 2017? It was very disturbing to Sherry, because Sherry, as I said, has been married for 30 years, and she takes her marriage vows seriously. Have Sherry or I been aware of any similar jokes about other women over time? I'm not aware of any similar jokes. There might have been, there might not have been. I don't know. I'm not in a position to reach a conclusion about that. Was there just one attempt by Cuomo's staff to contact Ms. Vill? I believe there was just one attempt. Unless you would include the contact of sending the letter and the photos to her. I should point out, I don't know if you saw, but you will see when you see this photo, that this photo is signed by the governor. You will see it at the top. It's difficult to see it when I'm holding it, but it says, "God bless New York." And then under it, it says Andrew Cuomo, so it's signed by him. The next question is, does Ms. Vill recall who made that call to her? No, she does not. And the next question is this the first improper conduct case that I am involved with regarding Governor Cuomo? And the answer is yes. Next question, what do I make of the numbers of women who have accused Governor Cuomo a range of different accusations? What do you make of this case as someone who has a long history of defending women in sexual assault cases? Not exactly defending them, but representing women in sexual assault cases. I take it very seriously when there are a number of women who come forward against the same powerful man. And I believe from the beginning that there should be an investigation, and now there are at least 2 investigations that I'm aware of. So I think that's the appropriate course of conduct. I'm also being asked what her son's reaction was when this occurred and he was taping. He's not making any comment at this time. And also the other family members are not making any comment at this time. Next question is, what does Sherry think about the governor's statement that he has never touched anyone inappropriately, and about his defense that he's old-fashioned? Sherry is not going to be commenting on that at this time. Next question, have I been contacted by other women reporting incidents involving Governor Cuomo? I never disclose who contacts me or does not contact me, or if anyone has contacted me, because any such contacts with my office are confidential and attorney-client privilege, and we protect the confidentiality of anyone who contacts me. Next question is, can Sherry tell us what her reaction was when other women who came forward after hearing their stories? She has no comment on that at this time. And then the next question is, to clarify, was it two separate occasions during the same encounter that the governor kissed Ms. Vill during the same event? And the answer is yes. So once inside of her home, and then once outside of her home. Next question, have I been in touch with any other people with allegations regarding Governor Cuomo? No comment. And I think that is all of the questions that there are. There may be a few more. Did Sherry have any further contact with the governor or his office after Governor Cuomo's letter? And the answer is no. Next question, will I be representing any other women accusing the governor of inappropriate behavior? I have no comment. Next question. Not sure, I may have answered, will Sherry and I participate in the Assembly Judiciaries impeachment investigation? We have no plans for that at this time. Well, right now the focus is the New York Attorney General's investigation. Next question, how did Sherry and I get in touch with each other? Did Sherry reach out to me for assistance? Yes, that's how everyone has become my client in the last 45 years that I've been practicing law. Everyone reaches out to me. Sometimes someone else reaches out and says, my friend wants to talk with you, and then the friend reaches out. So what do I make of this case with a number of women making accusations, and given that I have a long history of representing women in these cases? I am concerned, is the answer. I'm very concerned. Next question has to do with the family's reaction at the time. Did anyone say anything to Governor Cuomo while he was there? I'm not commenting on what any member of her family said, because I don't represent any other member of her family, only Sherry. Next question is, what led her daughter to post the photo of the kiss on Facebook? I can't comment on that. Does Sherry or I have an opinion about this unwanted advance taking place during a response to a flood emergency? I think that would be more appropriately responded to by the governor. Next question, the governor has admitted since the beginning that he often hugs and kisses people to greet them. He says he never meant to offend people. Do I think that that is a defense to incidents like this? The answer is no. Next question is, what did her family fear if she spoke out about this incident? We have no comment in answer to that question. Next question, many times the governor has excused his behavior as him being out of date with current standards. What do I make of those comments? The governor is an attorney. He's the former Attorney General of the state of New York. He is the employer of all state employees in the state of New York. Both because he is an attorney and because he is an employer, he is required to take sexual harassment training. Even though I file sexual harassment cases and have for more than 4 decades for victims of sexual harassment, I am also required, because I am a New York attorney, to take sexual harassment training, which I just did a few months ago. So I don't think it is appropriate to say that a person is old-fashioned, or if anyone would say they didn't understand what is expected. I think the training is quite clear. But also, I think that one should understand that this sexual harassment issue is not just about an employer to employees. Sherry was not an employee. She certainly was a member of the public, a New York resident. And I think that all New York residents should also be treated with dignity and respect. And they are not family members, they are members of the public. So that would be my response to that. I mean, sometimes I talk to children, like little 6-year-old girl, for example, and I will say, "May I hug you?" Please understand that I don't have any right to hug you unless you say it's okay, unless I ask your permission. And that's true for any adult, I tell the children. No one can hug you without asking, "Is it okay if I hug you?" And I think that applies to adults with other adults as well. Boundaries are very important. Next question, is the Vill family still in possession of the video shot by Ms. Vill's son on the day of the incident? Unfortunately, we are no longer in possession, and her son is no longer in possession of the video. He deleted it a long time ago. He had his reasons, that was years ago. And, but fortunately, her daughter took the still shot from the video, and that is why we have that still photo today. The governor is called kissing and hugging as, quote, his usual and customary way of greeting, end quote. Does Sherry believe it is possible he did not know he was making her uncomfortable? We never know what's in someone else's mind. I think we generally draw conclusions from actions, and I think that's what's important. Why was he in Greece? It's Greece, New York, not Grace, New York, that the reporter wrote, again, at Sherry's house, to view flood damage to her home. And there were other homes also that had flood damage as a result of a flood from the lake. Did Sherry share her feelings with her husband? What was his reaction? Again, we're not commenting on her husband's reaction. Why is the AG's investigation the focus for Sherry and not the Assembly's as well? She's made the decision she's going to start with the AG's investigation. And then we'll have to see what, if anything, she's willing to do after that. This is not easy for Sherry. As I said, she's being very brave. She's never been involved in a situation like this before, so we're just taking this step by step. I'll take just a couple more questions, and then we want to show the photos. Many of Governor Cuomo's fierce supporters and partisans claim the detailed accusations by numerous women are a ginned-up scandal being concocted to politically harm a high-profile Democrat. They allude to this being a pro-Trump plot or something similar. What do I make of these kinds of comments? Well, my answer is, as most people know, I am a Democrat. I'm proud to be a Democrat. I like much of Governor Cuomo's agenda, and I have called out both Republicans and Democrats over the years for what appeared to be, and what we had evidence of, as inappropriate conduct with women. We're the leading women's rights law firm in this country, and we have been for 45 years. And the fact that he is a Democrat is not going to stop me from assisting persons who believe they have been victims of a Democratic governor. I think it's ridiculous to say it's ginned up. I think it's insulting to women to say that. So the next question is, the governor has admitted since the beginning that he often hugs and kisses people to greet them. He says he never meant to offend people. Does Ms. Allred think that is a defense to incidents like this? No. So I think we'll conclude the questions at this point, and now we will screen share some of the photos. So let's look at each one, and then I'll describe them, and then we will conclude the press conference. Okay, so one moment, let's see. All right, so again, this is the photo of Governor Cuomo in Sherry's home, and that is her son also taking the photo, although this photo was sent to Sherry by the governor's office. Okay, so let's see, we'll leave it up for a few seconds. Okay, could you put that one back, the first one back, please? Okay, in the photo you can see her dog that she's holding in her left arm and hand. The dog is a Yorkie. All right, thank you. We'll go to the next photo. It's another photo of Governor Cuomo with his hand on Sherry. And this is the photo that is signed at the top, as you see, God Bless New York. Andrew Cuomo. We have blurred the face of the woman, the other woman in the photo, to respect her privacy. All right, I thank you. I think we can view the next photo. This is the photo of the governor kissing Sherry. The governor kissing my mom at Rochester, New York. Because it's difficult to see his face in this photo, we have shared with you the other photos so you can see that this is the same person, Governor Cuomo. And you can also see his hand on her face. All right, thank you very much. And finally, this is the letter that Governor Cuomo sent to Sherry. And I described what the writing was on the letter previously, so I will not read it again, but this is the letter from Governor Cuomo, signed by Governor Cuomo, to Sherry. By the way, the governor did meet other members of her family on that occasion, her husband and her son. But the letter is only addressed to her. Thank you very much. And that concludes our press conference for today. We thank everybody for coming. And again, we will do our best within the next hour to send to everyone who RSVP'd today a copy of all of the photographs and the letter.